let's just sew whatever.
Hey everybody, today I am going to be showing you how I made the tailor tote with a bow, with a slouchy body, that sounds mean, and this little sneaky slip pocket back here. I plan on wearing this as a backpack, so I'm also going to be adding a crossbody strap that's pretty long, but otherwise I think it turned out so good. I hope you have fun watching. I know I had a blast making it. Okay. Yeah, perfect. I have 2 bobbins with this pink thread already, so I don't need to make another. So it's cool. This bag was designed with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I need to say that out loud because I made it recently in this year and messed that up. Okay. Got my pile here. And I've basically just been rotating a bin in and out of this cart I've got over here. All right, we're gonna start with the little sneaky slip pocket that I've altered in the pattern. And we're going to stitch right on that marked line. Oh, I'm going to grab a nameplate before I forget. And we're making sure to backstitch the start there. My stitch length is at about a 3.5 because I want precise, secure corners. There we go. And just pivoting. Yeah, you'll see a little hint of this lining fabric, and I'm trying to decide if I care about that, because if you did care, you just grab a little strip, top stitch it on, but it's going to add a bit of bulk that I don't really want, so I'm not going to worry about it. I snipped into my corners, and I'm going to separate this, add a little crease. And then we'll turn this. And then I'll top stitch that. Perfect. Increase stitch length to your preferred top stitch length. Mine is about a 4.5 or 5. And I'm making this into a little slip pocket, so I'm not adding zipper tape. Pivoting, and then back stitching. So we've got a perfect little slip pocket. We're going to put right sides together, lining that up. And then I'll flip this around and move my exterior out of the way to sew that shut. 3/8 inch seam allowance, give or take. And I'll baste the top edge just ever so slightly. Perfect. It's very cute. All right, we're gonna do the grab handles really quick, and I'll attach the upper exterior so that this whole side is done. So I've cut my grab handles to 2.5 by 12, folding to the center. And then if you like the look, you could top stitch this along that open edge. I don't love that look, so I'm just gonna do 2 inches from each end. I'm going to fold that in half and top stitch just the edge I'm folding, back stitching. And then to the other marked line. And if you would prefer to tie that off, you can. Perfect. Just the sweetest little grab handle. I'm leaving a teeny tiny little gap so that my edges can sit together nicely. And if you wanted to thread a little bit of piping through that, you could also, to give it a more rounded look. And then you can kind of massage that crinkle away. It's just from the double-sided tape usually. All right. And now I'll decide, where do I want the grab handle to sit? Because the way I want to attach this is this way. And that looks wrong to me. So I'm going to find the center. And then maybe it's like 1.5 inches. Yes, perfect. And then that'll lift up. Yeah. So I'm going to base that down. On the outside. So I'm laying it down with the wrong side facing up currently. All right, and then we'll add the upper panel. And I'm going to sew this from the other direction, clipping this down. And I'm changing this from the original pattern, and I'm going to do a 1/4 inch here. And that's not going to make a huge difference. I just need to then make sure I attach all my uppers at a 1/4 inch. Not a big deal. I could have also made that slip a little bit bigger, but I'm unbothered by this. Okay. Oh, that's right. Now I have to flip it that way. That's okay. Not a big deal. Perfect. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I can flip that up still. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good. All right. Like I could do a 3/8 inch and then it's really right there. I'm gonna do 3/8. Yeah. And I am going to top stitch through that handle. I just wanted to get that edge down first, and then I'll go through the handle. None of this is too thick for my machine. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Yeah, this is gonna be perfect. And like that's still a nice size slip pocket. When you're wearing it, it's not gonna be too much, and then that will be up against my back anyway when I wear it as a backpack. Alrighty. So let's work on the gusset, because that's what I have in the pile next. strap connectors, and I had enough light gold hardware to make the bag, so I'm relieved. I don't have to go anywhere to do this. All right, so I'll attach the bottom really quick. This is a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I don't want to forget that it's 1/2 inch. Otherwise, things just aren't going to fit correctly. And for that seam, you could choose to butterfly it open, but I'm gonna press the bulk to the bottom. I'm going to fold my strap connectors into the center. And I'll do 1/8 inch top stitch. That's a 1/4. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna top stitch this at a 1/2 inch. So I'm lining it up with my 1/2 inch mark on the seam guide. That'll hold it together. And then I'll be able to use that as a guide to attach this here. So I'll find the center, and then I know by lining up my stitch line that it's 1/2 inch in the seam allowance. So it's nice and secure. And then that upper panel is just a rectangle, so it doesn't have any specific direction. If your fabric is directional, you want to make sure you lay it in the direction you want it to go, and then flip it down. Okay, and then this I have to attach at 3/8, but if you didn't make any changes to your other one, you don't need to make any changes to this one. And then we'll flip that up and top stitch through. So it's the opposite as the other panels, but that's fine. Okay, and then we'll mark bottom center over here. Okay, and I could attach that, but I want to work on the bow, dang it. Okay, so I'm going to top stitch around all 4 sides. I'm going to start in the center so that I can hide my back stitching. I thought for a second I'll leave those threads long as I put the bow together, but I'm not going to worry about it. Sticking down that edge, going slow so that I've got it pretty close to a quarter, and before that can lift, I'm going to top stitch. It's going to be so cute. There's that. That's my upper panel, bow center. Yeah, that was good. So it's like 1 1/8. So I'll need to adjust my hidden connector. Okay. I'm grabbing a little scrap of foam to put behind my nameplate. Okay, I think that's a dead scrap. Perfect. All right, this needs to be 1 1/8. So it needs to be the size it is on the bottom. So I'm going to make it a 1/4 inch tall and a 1/4 inch wide at the top. Make a trapezoid, and then you're going to cut top and sides only, not the bottom. You want the finished size of it to be the width you need. The narrow piece towards the top. Okay. So we've got our little flappy bit there. And this is going to go up like that. I'm going to top stitch not right above that connector because I want there to be a little height to the bow. So it's like 1/2 inch above. And now I'll put these together. I'm going to find my center, measure 1/8 or 1.5 for my strap so I don't forget. I don't want to be like blinded by the beauty of the bow and forget to put my grab handles on in the right spot. That would suck. Wrong side, face up. Okay. We'll find our center of the bow. And I'm going to grab some spare thread from my top thread, not my bobbin. And my, oh, look at that. Oh. We're going to center this. Yes, perfect. And we're just going to wrap that around. And I pass my needle through that loop once I've wrapped it around a couple times. Then you can kind of rearrange the bow. It's perfect. Perfect. And then we'll attach this. And this method of constructing the bow is from the Fiona bag from Isaiah. Just want to be abundantly clear, I did not make this up. And I'm also not trying to take credit for something I did not make up. Then I'm going to knot that together. And then I like to keep the thread attached so I can kind of find that better. Oh, it's perfect. Okay. So then I'm going to lay this down. Yeah, 2 inches from the top is about what I was thinking, so I'm just going to make a little dash where I want that to go, and I'll clip that in place. And we'll go back through that. And then whatever kind of feels right for the height of the bow center. You don't want it to be super tight. You don't want it to be too loose. Kind of want to have some space for it to sit. So I think right there. And then I'm going to pinch my little hidden connector piece where that is and stitch that shut. Right over top that line we traced. And that's that. So now we'll stitch the bow down on the sides so it doesn't move. All right, that is secure. And then to help kind of train the center, I'm going to clip these together. Okay. I'm going to line these up, base those down. Cute. All right, and then we're going to add this upper at 3/8. For the lining, we can still do half. It just means our lining will be smaller, which is ultimately the goal anyway. So, not a big deal. I'm pressing that upper panel flat, and then I'm going to bring this up. I don't want to pull on that handle to bring it up because I'm worried it'll kind of stretch that seam a little too much. Cute. So cute. All right, and then nameplate. If you feel like you need to, you can also shove a bunch of glue into this seam to keep your folds where they are and stuff, but I kind of like to zhuzh the bow over time. All right, so I'm adding my nameplate really quick. I think 3 inches up from the bottom. No, 2.75. Don't ask why. Just is. One gentle poke that. Add our foam. Yes, 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 yes. And then I'm gonna sorry, I'm listening to a song that's a cover of a song, and I'm like, oh, what? It's so good. So I'm gonna favorite that. Nice. Okay. Exterior is done. We can put it all together. So we're going to line up the seam. I can't line up the top stitching, so that's kind of like a bummer, but I can offset them, which isn't the worst. And this is 1/2 inch. I'm clipping everything together up until the bottom corners. Oh, RIP. You've served us well. I get sad when glitter clips break, and they are plastic, and sometimes they're a little overused or overworked. And then I'm gonna make little snips every 3/8 of an inch at about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch in depth. And that'll get it to fit perfectly. And when I put these together, I'm holding it off the edge of my table so that I'm not fighting the shape as I'm clipping. So I'm holding it, pressing it into place, and clipping. It's easy peasy. I'm really liking it without interfacing too. I think it'll be nice. Okay, 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. And then we'll trim that down. I'm going to cut this at the top here so I can separate that, but then I'm going to trim that down otherwise. I think it'll be good. Okay, lining up those key points. All right, snips. Okay, 1/2 inch. And then back stitching at the beginning and the end. And we'll make those snips again. And trim away that excess. And this is a turned bag, but doesn't mean I can't turn this now. Just to see what it's like. See how the structure is currently. Because if need be, I could drop in some kind of interfacing, but chances are it's gonna be great. See, it still has structure. Like, oh, it's so cute. Hello. Yeah, perfect. I love the little handles. I love how they are a little bit different. I love the bow. It's good. Okay. Phew. So we can move on to our lining. I'll start with the gusset because it's a lot of pieces to put together, but it's quick. So we just need our base. Okay, and then just like the the exterior, this is all 1/2 inch. And I am going to attach the uppers at 1/2 inch because it'll just make them fit better. So all those pieces will fit perfectly. All right, sewing that upper panel. If you wanted to add like a D-ring to this as well, you could, to attach your keys to, or make a locking mechanism for your zipper panel. That could be cool. So there, bobbin, soon. Now we can find our center. And set that aside. We can work on our zipper panel just because it's next in line. For my zipper panel, I'm going to use a pop tab pull, and then for my inner zipper, I'm going to use the flower tab pulls that I recently released because they're so cute. Okay. It's way longer than I need it to be, but that's okay. So I'm going to attach my zipper pull. And then I'll square off my zipper ends here. Because my nails are longer, I don't have to use the clips, but it is safer. Okay, there we go. I want to start to see them melt, and I just press them together. You could also glue that together if you wanted. Alrighty. Oh, those are my upper panels. There's my zipper panel. So for my zipper panel, I already measured 1 inch in from each edge. And I'll just fold to meet. And then I'm going to grab some 1/8 inch double-sided tape, and I'm going to tape where my zipper is going to go. And if your zipper panel has a specific direction you want it to go, you're going to lay that the way you want it and add the tape where you imagine your zipper will go. And that'll help you kind of putting things together in the right order. Carefully press your tape in, and we'll just start with one side. And your zipper goes right side down. And I like to start at about 1/8 or 1/4 from the top edge. Yeah, that zipper's way longer than it needs to be. Oh well. Just had to look at the exterior again. I could charge my iPad. No, okay, it's not here. Never mind. Random thought. All right, 1/8 inch, nope, 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch seam allowance. I press the lining first, and then I'll press the rest open and line up the sides. I don't trust you. Well, I'll sew this side, and if it runs out, I'll change it. I'm skeptical, but it's doing it. Ooh, that is really pretty. All right, lining up one edge there. Oh, I actually don't want my tape on that edge because it's uneven. Three-eighths. All right, I'm changing the bobbin. I will not get lucky again. All right. It'll get through this. I'm going to fold and clip this while I snip my center. Okay. All right, this is my slip pocket. And that overlay piece. Okay, adding that overlay, and I'll sneak this woven label over here. Okay, let's see if it'll do it. Did it. And I am making this a cargo slip pocket. It's a little thicker at the top with the vinyl, but this vinyl is thin enough that it's not going to cause an issue. So I'm going to measure 1 inch, crease that, slip that out, top stitch here. Other side. All right, this lining piece has a little scuff on it, so this will be my slip pocket piece. Lining the center up. Ah, there it went. Okay. So I'm leaving my thread at the top where it is. Because this isn't a top stitch or anything, I can sneakily add this back in and it'll pick it up. And so now it's like never happened from the front. The back might look a little funky. So I'll just melt that back there and we'll pretend it never happened. And then I'm going to fold those top stitched pieces towards the center to overlap. I'll clip that on the sides and the bottom. I'm going to top stitch it first on the bottom because I have to make it fit into that curve. So we'll just do that first. I'll do the sides. And then from the other side, we'll trim the curve away. And it'll be no problem. If your pocket is short on the sides by 1/8, it is not an issue. We have a 1/2 inch seam allowance of wiggle room, so we're good. And we're just trimming off that little curve. And I'm not even worried about basting that down. So these are nice pockets. You could fit like a bottle of water in each of them, so that's great. Then I can add my zipper panel. This is the opposite direction I would normally add my zipper panel, so I know it'll be good because it'll match the other side. You could also wait, but I'm like, okay, these are done. I'll put them together. And I'm going to do this at 1/2 inch. That is different than our exterior, but that is okay. And I want this to have a perky zipper panel. Some top stitching underneath, which will match what we did on the gusset piece, because we top stitched on the lining, not the exterior accent. Or the exterior fabric, I should say. So that's good. I can also add this. No, that'll be harder to sew. All right. Set those down there. And then a 10-inch piece of zipper tape will be good. Got a little extra piece. Goodbye. My zipper pull. Top overlay. So overlay, we're going to put 2.5 inches from the top. Okay. Lay that down and then press. And I'm going to start next to the curve. I'm going to go straight and then slow. Just going to take it a stitch at a time and pivot. Hand crank for precision. I don't think, well, that's a perfect match, isn't it? I don't have any like Cinderella bags. I do have some Mickey. I'll just add a classic. You look really pretty today. A literal classic because it's the old size. Okay. Okay. And then we're back to the beginning. Long threads, pull to the back. Hopefully I don't lose a stitch. Nope, it's perfect. So then we'll tie the threads that go together together. And if you pull on the one and it doesn't bring up the bobbin or the top thread, depending on which size, then that's the one you want to tie together. Like if you can counter pull, those go together. They rely on each other to exist in harmony, so keep them together. How profound. It's just thread. Cut that. Melt it all together. Flatten it. And then we'll cut away the lining fabric only. This is why I love having nice sharp scissors. All right, I'm going to add fabric to the zipper. The longer piece is going to go to the back with my zipper pull to the left. So we're attaching the zipper at a 1/4 inch on both sides. There are a lot of unique ways to add a zipper pocket to a bag. Just pick your favorite, okay? There's nothing wrong with any of them. All right, so I'm gonna start with the bottom side here. I'm gonna use 1/4 inch tape just so it really stays in place. And I'm gonna do two separate stitching parts. I'm gonna do the bottom first and then I'll connect it on the sides. Centering that. Bottom first. Long thread tails. Tie those threads. Press that flat. And this side looks really good. I don't get to sew that much just to have fun and enjoy it anymore. Well, okay, that's very wrong. I still have fun and enjoy it, but like, it's not just play around. It's follow the pattern or people are gonna get mad. I need to leave the bottom open to turn through. So I'm gonna flip that up. And sew the sides. My zipper pull is in, so it's all good. Starting on the side over here, flipping that up. Trimming that excess. I don't think I need that anymore. We're gonna flip that open. Oh, cat hair, great. Okay, now, it's flirting with me. Okay. And now, zippers are in the correct direction. Well, it doesn't matter. I think we all made that up. You can have your zippers go in any direction you really want to. Okay, and then we'll add our upper lining, 1/2 inch. Saying it to you, saying it to me. And then we're top stitching, moving everything out of the way, pressing that seam down, making sure the zipper pocket lining is down and out of the way as well. Those aren't quite lined up. It's worrisome, but it'll work out in the end. Okay, keeping that out of the way. We're gonna grab Gusset. Oh, there it is. You could leave an opening in the bottom of the lining. I didn't add interfacing, so this isn't going to be hard to turn through just the zipper pocket, so I'm not gonna worry about it. and then everything gets lined up. And you should have that same problem as we did on the exterior, which isn't an actual problem. It's made to be that way. But it'll be a little bit too small to fit. So we're just gonna snip. You may find it easier to unzip your zipper all the way. I just don't want to. I'm okay with this method. 1/2 inch. You can also increase your seam allowance a little bit if you want. I'm not worried about it. Well, it's naturally happening. Just don't sew through your zipper pocket lining. All right. So, just gonna make sure that my zipper, isn't twisted, and it was. So I'm gonna zip that shut, clip it, and then unzip. You could, of course, take your zipper pull off if that were the case, if that happened, and you'd be fine. I just don't like it. Like, my zipper pull's already on there. Please don't make me take it off. Okay, I don't like whatever this is. Clipping. Oh, nice. And snipping. All right, 1/2 inch seam allowance, 1/2 inch. And if you want your curves to sit better, you can top stitch them twice. Once a little further into the seam allowance. And that'll help your curves sit really, really nicely. Okay, we're gonna snip the top edge and trim the rest, and that zipper panel fits just right inside that space, so there's minimal risk of stuff falling out. And our bin has become emptier. Just a couple little pieces over there. And so we're going to trim things down now. I don't like this. If you're worried about reinforcing pockets and things, it wouldn't hurt to do a second stitch line, but I think things are going to fit just fine. So I'll go ahead and unzip that. I'm going to turn this right side out. It'll give us a chance to kind of check how things look. And I'm just gently pressing my zipper panel down because when we put everything together, I don't want it to creep back up until the bag is done. Okay, and then my zipper pocket is going to go on the back of the bag. Everything should fit well. And see how that zipper panel wants to perk up? It's good. It's what it's meant for. It's how it's made to be. But I need it to sit its ass down inside the bag for now, till we're ready to top stitch. So then I'm going to press open the side seams, joining those. Everything should fit at the top nicely. I need to tuck the handles down inside too. Can't forget that. Okay, it's just noise. I don't know if I already mentioned, I'm listening to DJO. I don't know if that's said in a particular way, but it's Steve Harrington, Joe Keery from Stranger Things band. and I hadn't listened before. I just kept seeing the same song on social media, and I was like, oh, I like that song. I want to listen to that song. All right. Okay, and then we're gonna pick a place to start top stitching. I'm gonna do 3/8 for the top stitch here, just so I don't get too close to the interfacing. Half would be fine, but it's just okay. We're gonna turn. Grabbing the bottom first. And don't try to get the lining through just yet, because then the lining's in the way, blocking the exterior. Alrighty. Then we can press the exterior seam, and I like the slouchiness this has, especially since I'll be wearing it as a backpack, possibly too. I think it'll be really nice, but then it's got that top structure making it easy to top stitch too. See how that just folds? I like it. And then once we press the lining in, see, it still has structure. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I love it. All right. I will make the zipper not that long, by the way. Tuck that zipper pocket lining down. And again, just kind of reshape this. My corners would have looked a lot better had I snipped further into the seam allowance, and if I had sewn them again. So yeah, I'll cut that shorter. Yeah, that's the perfect little I keep thinking I have a armrest and I don't. love the little slip pocket. It's maybe a little too wide. I probably should have done 6 inches, which would have been the exact width of the handle, which would have looked nice. But I think it'll be easier to grab things in and out, because that'll be my like default when I'm wearing it, to shove my phone in there or something I need quickly. Let's see, the way the zipper sits right there is nice. Yeah, maybe, no, I still like it without interfacing, but you see how it like wants to buckle right there because there's 2 layers and there isn't, but like I'll have stuff in it. The stuff in it gives it the shape. Perfect. But the bow is seriously adorable. And then you can kind of add some creases. So I'd never thought of the Tailor Tote as a backpack, but I think it's going to be really nice. And so what you do is you're just going to make a crossbody strap that's long enough, maybe 62 inches, and you can shorten it much smaller, but then it's plenty long. You'll clip it here and then through this looped, and then you'll grab those 2 and that goes on your shoulders, and this gets nice and tight to your back. So I think the pro about the Bolora as a backpack is the handles are up here and the connectors are here, whereas this is all in line, so it might sit weird, but we'll find out. Because if it's not a backpack, it's still a super cute handbag, so who cares? One thing I'm considering is top stitching through the zipper panel, but I think that'd be too thick. No, because then if you stuff it, that can go down, making it wider. Yeah, okay, talked myself out of it. The other thing I might do is top stitch through the handles. I wonder if I can. I think it might look stupid. Yeah, that'll look stupid. Yeah, okay. Here we go. I like to start behind a crossbody strap connector so you don't really see it when I'm just wanting to backstitch. Fold that zipper panel down. Vinyl just feels like perfectly skived leather. I'm truly impressed. All right, zipper end, I will do it. So I want that to stop about there. This is still a usable piece of zipper tape. Oh, and the bow pull keychain. that is the Taylor Tote. Very slouchy as a cute backpack. The little slip pocket and a bow. I think, did I say that already? I don't know. I'm gonna make that keychain super quick. That is my one downside about putting the handles up there, is they tend to just open, and I like them to perk up a little bit more. I'm missing a piece of this. So I'm going to sew that down the center. Kind of fold this in half on itself. Create a little V. Sew that down. I can trim that up afterwards. Gotta find that scrap. I don't know where it went. Okay. It's a little too wide, and I can't sew it to be smaller, so I'm going to cut it so that it's 1/2 inch wide. I think I need to wrap the bow a little bit before I attach that, just to help it crease. Yeah, that's better. Now I'll just tie that. And like, I didn't measure anything. I didn't look for the center, so it's gonna look a little silly, but I think it'll have character, so I don't mind. Oh yeah, that's better. Just a little shape to it. Okay. So I've got both ends through the center of the snap hook. I'm just gonna like fold it over. So it's a lot of layers of vinyl, but This is a thin vinyl. And you could rivet that, but I'm just gonna sew a little back stitch. Like a tack maybe? Yeah, I think a tack will work fine. And like this is meant to look really, I don't want to say thrown together, but just kind of like whimsical. To just, yeah, perfect. And I think I'm gonna just do a little triangle, make it look a little more intentional. And any fuzzies, just burn away. It's cute. Okay, that is it for this little bag, whatever we want to call it. I almost wish this could like clip the handles together. Can't, unless I had added a loop. But like, dead. 2 bows is too many right there, but so cute. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope this was fun to watch. I hope you made something fun that you were excited to make, and don't forget to subscribe.